Usually happens when the microphone is picking up the speakers.
It's in. As soon as the man that's operating walks away.
Okay, we're good to go? All right. So now what we're seeing is the new way to be able to monetize a message is to build a business, and then you can start with that one person, one problem, one product, and then create content around that. Be intentional with the people that you interview that are going to already have the audience of your dream client, and you can borrow their audience to build your audience. You don't have to start from scratch. You can leverage what already exists where people are gathered together. So one thing too that makes a tremendous difference is anytime that you're entering into a new field, one of the best things that you can do is to publish a book. I believe that authors have an advantage over other business owners or health educators that have not published a book. And in fact, I would say that there's at least 7 advantages that an author has when you publish a book for your category. Is one of the best steps, the first steps to building a successful business is to package your program into your message into a book. Because one of the advantages that authors have over others in the field is, have you ever noticed that the root word of authority is the word author? And the reason why is because you get an authority advantage. I know the words are kind of small. Are you able to read that? Who's able to read that so far? Okay, good. I'm glad to hear. So, number one is it sets you apart as a credible source. A lot of times people feel that when it comes to health education, they're like, oh, I don't know if I know enough, or if I'm credible enough, or if it's like we always feel like there's some more certification. I mean, I got people coming to me and they've been to health certification, health training, and they've gone through books and podcasts, and they've gone through so much of this health training, and they never feel like there's enough. And but what I find is it's interesting that there's something about publishing a book that society automatically recognizes as authors as being an authority on the topic. And it's like, do health educators publish a book because they're an authority, or are they an authority because they publish a book? I would submit to you that just the fact of publishing a book will make someone an authority in the marketplace. And like manner with public speaking, when you are interviewing experts on a topic, or when you're speaking at an event, or you're sharing on your topic, it's amazing that just the very fact of talking at an event about the subject you're teaching automatically is being put into the perception of your audience as you are a credible, reliable source on that topic. And that's just an author's advantage. Another author's advantage is what I would call you have a unique advantage. This allows you to stand out in a crowded market, where a lot of times people are like, well, I don't know if the health industry is something I really want to go into, because there's so many people doing that. And the reality is, the fact that there is so much competition means that there's a lot of transactions that are happening. There's a lot of money that is transferring, that people are having health challenges and they're paying to solve those problems. And because there's so much in that market of health and wellness and holistic healing and natural healing, that means buyers are looking for solutions and are actively spending millions of dollars every day on that subject. And because of that is a very reason why you want to go into a crowded market. And the way that you're able to stand out and to set yourself apart and be unique in that sphere is, one of them is by being able to publish a book. As you publish a book, then you can differentiate from a lot of the other authors or a lot of the other competitors who don't have a book, or do not know how to leverage their book in their marketing to land speaking engagements, or to be able to open up doors of buyers and optimize their book for building their business. So you get a unique advantage from others who are not authors. And then you also have a time advantage. Because what I've found too is, at the end of the day, there's so many people who are looking for solutions, looking for advice, they're looking for help. It's like the Macedonian cry is going out. Who can come over to help us? And there's far more sick people that are looking for solutions than there is like the ability to train them one-on-one and to be able to work with all of these individuals. So what happens when you package your unique process or when you package your story into a book, you're able to serve people at scale. You're able to now have a information product that's able to disconnect your income generation from your time. No longer are you tied down to you have to actively be involved in, say, like doing the poultice or putting on the hydrotherapy or applying the health principles, or even like one-on-one consulting, that you're not connected to the most limited resource that you have, which is your time. You're able to disconnect that, and you're able to have a book that's able to introduce yourself to other people, share your message, impact their life, give them the information and the principles that they could apply. You can serve people at different levels of like investment, where people can get your book and they can go further in their health journey. And one thing that's amazing is sometimes, like when I'm at events or I'll travel, and people will buy my book at these events, and then they will go for months and we're not interacting with each other, but then a few months later they're contacting me and say, hey, I've been reading your book, this has been so impactful, this is so powerful, I want you to come speak on my podcast, could I interview you to talk about your book? And I'm saying, absolutely, I'd love to. And when you think about that, what's really cool is this is someone that I met for maybe 10, 15 minutes at an event, and they were able to interact, buy the book, and even though I'm able to continue and serve and do the things that I get to do, meanwhile, they're able to read my story, my journey, hear my principles, and the things that I'm able to share with them, and we're building a relationship, we're connecting, I'm communicating with people and impacting lives, even while I'm sleeping, even while I'm engaged in other things, where having a book is one of the greatest ways to leverage your time, because there's no limit to how many books you're able to publish and share and spread all around the world. So there's a time advantage of a book. And where a lot of times you might work with people who are very curious, but they're not very serious. And they're like the tire kickers who might want to like call you up to talk about what you have to offer, your health program, your health opportunities, but they're not really interested in buying, whereas a book allows to pre-qualify and to help them. They already know your story. They already know your method of healing. They're already sold on the principles you teach. So by the time that they finish your book, they're a better educated buyer. They're a better qualified buyer. That now it's just like the time that you used with the book is multiplied because you had one. A book also allows you to go from one-to-one selling, like on a phone call or in person, to one-to-many selling, where now you're able to share and market your message at an infinitely scalable ability, where if you're going to speak on a podcast with 200,000 people, and if you're doing a service that requires a lot of time or energy on your behalf, like I was sharing as a mechanic, if I were to get 1,000 people who said yes to me fixing their car or changing their oil, then that would not be the good thing all at once, because I couldn't handle all of that. But when you have a book, if you want 1,000, if you go on a talk and you speak about the topic you're passionate about for 30 minutes to an hour, and 1,000 people want to buy your book, it requires no more effort on your behalf to sell 100 books or 10,000 books. It's the same amount of effort. So the time advantage is incredible. Is that making sense, friends? There's a lot of advantages. Another advantage you get is what I would like to call the helpful advantage. And the helpful advantage is just the ability to be able to impact people's lives at scale. Sometimes we have a heart where we want to help every single person we possibly can. And a book allows us to do that and help people in a way that, hey, if someone's not able to pay at this price, it's okay, because we have another solution to provide for people at every level of the ability, of people's financial ability. You can help people. And another thing, the reason it not only helps others, but it helps you. I find that when some people are like, I don't really know what my story is. What is my message? What is what can I share with other people? When you write a book, it forces you to organize your thoughts and to clarify your message, your method, the principles that you promote and in the problems that you're solving. So there's an incredibly helpful advantage of being able to organize and structure your ideas into chapters, into paragraphs, and to be able to express yourself in a book. It organizes your message, so then when you're more organized in your communication, then people are able to understand. It's more clear. And this is good because a confused buyer always says no. Sometimes people are not sure what they're saying or what they're about or who they're helping, and they're just kind of like up there tossing up a word salad, or they're just like rambling and just speaking about all things, and they don't quite know what they're saying or how to express themselves. So there's a saying that if there's a mist in the pulpit, there'll be a fog in the pews, meaning if it's unclear for the main communicator, it'll be extremely unclear for the audience. So when you're able to publish a book, you've got a helpful advantage because you're able to clarify your thoughts. And there's something powerful about clarity, is that if people will believe that whoever can speak with the most clarity on a particular problem, then people are willing to believe that their solution is the solution to the problem. So clarity is power. Power to impact, power to persuade, power to influence and make a difference in people's lives. So it's very helpful for others and helpful for ourselves, so you get a helpful advantage. The O, and by the way, if you didn't notice, the 7 advantages also spells what word? Authors. So if you want to remember what these advantages are, just remember the word author, and that will give you a cue to remember. And that's like an example of what I'm sharing, is as you clarify your thoughts, it makes it easier for people to remember. And so an O stands for offline advantage. When you have a book, you have an offline advantage. In a digital age where so many people are selling like digital products, or they have digital videos, or they have emails, there's a lot less direct mail that is going out to people's mailboxes, and a lot of the flyers are digital, a lot of the events are online, a lot of the courses are digital downloads. When you have a book, you have a physical representation of your story, your message, and the way that you can impact people's lives. There was an author, Hal Elrod. He's one of my book publishing mentors, and what he shares a story how when he first started, he wrote the book Miracle Morning, and he sold millions of copies. He's in the top 1% of the world's most successful authors, and he's teaching people how to have a miracle morning, how to really start their day on the good foot. And when he first started speaking, he was speaking at, I believe it was high schools. And his speaker fees at the time was only about like $3,000. And there was like a particular school that just opened up their submissions. They're looking for speakers, and then there was a bunch of speakers that send in all these brochures, and they send these brochures, and Hal Elrod was like, hey, do you mind if I send you my book? And they said, sure, go for it. Sent her the book, The Decision Maker, the event planner, and when it was several months later until he got a call, and the decision maker called up Hal and was like, we absolutely want you to come speak to our kids, because like while everybody else gave me a big stack of brochures for their speaker opportunities, they just sat on the shelf. I never really looked at them. But your book, I put on the coffee table, and I saw it every single day. It was a reminder, oh yeah, I got to read the book. I got to read the book, or I want to read that book. And when they have that book, then eventually she picked it up, and she said that this message was so powerful, where he had a near-death experience, and he started to realize, what is my purpose in life? Why am I here? And he began to realize that he was called for more and to serve people more than what he was doing. And they're like, our children need this message. And so because of your book, I chose to schedule you to speak at our event. And then they booked him for 2 talks. So it was a speech that in 2 hours, he made over $6,000 in speaking fees. And it was because of the book that he had and the offline advantage that he had over a lot of other people who are just trying to send emails or make phone calls or do things so digitally. While we're living in a digital age, having an offline presence, has the ability that people see it on the shelf, see it on their tables, and they're constantly reminded of your health message, your principles, your story, your personality, how much they like you, how much they want to work with you. And you've got a little reminder that's like a pebble in their shoe, that every step they take, they're getting reminders of how you can help them to be able, or you can help their audience to be able to overcome their challenges. How many of you would like to have the offline advantage? Yeah, we absolutely can. When we have the author's advantage. So the R, what else do we get? When you publish a book, you have a revenue advantage. I find that when you publish the right book, then it actually attracts better qualified leads, because many have heard that leaders are readers. It tends to be the people who read books tend to be more affluent markets. They tend to be people who care about education and learning and growth, and so they tend to be more affluent, or like higher classes, because they're constantly learning and always learning. And then also, when they read your book, they go through your story and they're already more qualified, and they're already more better trained on exactly what you have. And a lot of times, people who, they'll read your book and they'll say, this is really powerful. And a book is very much like a do-it-yourself kind of format. And while you have it, book is do-it-yourself, an online course is do-it-yourself, whereas coaching is more premium because it's done with you. And as they have accountability and guidance and mentorship, where they're able to coach you through the process, it's the same framework. People will pay more money for the same framework packaged in a different way. And many times who read your book, which is a do-it-yourself, they will see the principles be sold on that process of health and healing, and they're like, I love this, and it increases their desire to do it with you, which could be another package. So there's a revenue advantage for people who have books as opposed to other ways to attract high-paying health clients. And another benefit, advantage that authors have is they have a speaking advantage, because media loves authors. Media is always looking for people who have authored a book, authorities on a topic. And when I say media, what do I mean by that? I mean podcast host is media who wants authors, speaking events, news outlets. If you want to be featured on the news, they absolutely love experts to give their opinion on something that is being spoken about. And health experts, health authors are often featured in news, on podcasts, on blog articles, and at speaking events. And what you'll find is that when you have a book, not only does it give you more credibility, but it also provides you can charge higher speaker fees when you speak at different events, like where you're not just limited to speaking at churches and like camp meetings, but you can actually speak at health conferences that people are being paid $3,000, $5,000 to share on these natural health and healing, where they'll have like 3,000 people or 300 people in a room, and they have a budget to pay for health experts. And if you go beyond the walls of the church or the meetings of the church, and you go where the world is suffering and sick and looking for solutions, then these people will pay more for an author. They would rather choose to hire a speaker who is also an author than, say, a different speaker who hasn't published a book. And another speaking advantage is that your speaking engagements become more profitable, because now whenever you speak, you can always have your book available that people can purchase. And another thing that we teach our students how you can sell books in bulk is you can actually work out with the event planner that if they're charging, like, say, $50 for a ticket to attend one of these health conferences, you can negotiate in your speaker contract to say, I would like to offer a book to every single one of the attendees, and we could put it in the registration kit that they get. And all you have to do is just bump up the ticket fee to, like, if you sell your book for $10, it goes from $50 entrance to $60 entrance. And now they just sold 3,000 copies of your book because of one conversation that you had in a speaking engagement. And they absolutely love when speakers also have books that they're able to give to every single person who attends the event. And so it's a way to have more profitable speaking engagements when you have a book. So is this making sense, how authors have an advantage? Now, How would you like to have an advantage in your health education business? Say yes.
Yes.
All right. Now, another thing to realize is I'm going to share the number one habit of highly effective authors, because not all authorship is created equally. Not all books are created equally. When you have the right book, there's going to be one habit that all highly effective authors follow. And there's a really popular book called 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. It was written by Stephen Covey. He also published a book and has sold millions of copies and built an entire business on the back end of this book. I would recommend it. This is a powerful book that helps to understand how to be more effective in life. But Stephen Covey says that highly effective people begin with the what? The end in mind. They begin with the what? The end in mind. Now, Enoch Leavenwell says that highly effective authors begin with the back end in mind. And what do I mean by that? Where when you're writing and you're publishing a book, it's not just a book for book's sake. It's a book that you're able to recognize what is the back end business that you have. What is the product, the detox program, the health education, the remedy, the health challenges you overcome. And when you're able to you begin with the back end business offers, then you could reverse engineer your book to be educating people closer to a sale, to educate people, to help them with the book if that's all they have, but it also increases a desire to say yes to what you have afterwards. Is that making sense? And God says in Isaiah 46 that I am God, there's none like me. I'm declaring the end from the beginning. God also likes to begin with the end in mind. And He's a very intentional God. He does things for a reason. And it's always amazing to me how many times different health authors will come to me and they'll say, and I'll talk to them, and they're authors and they've published different books. I'll say, wow, this is cool. I like to hear what's going on with your book. Now, tell me about your business. What's your business look like on beyond the books? What does your back end look like? And they're like, I don't have a business beyond the books. That's all I've got. And my heart breaks because I realize that a lot of people who may have published a book, they didn't understand the opportunities how to optimize that book. And even if you already have a book, we can show you how to leverage that book and open up to even bigger opportunities. Or to start from the back end, begin with the back end in mind. And that could be your back end core offer. What happens is, I talked about it a little bit earlier, that anytime that you solve a problem, you are bringing light to the dark. Do you guys recognize that? They've got problems and health challenges, and what they need is light. But light is broken up into how many different colors? 7 colors. So there is this prism effect that happens, is every time you solve a problem, it's like this prism effect that it creates follow-up problems that your back-end business, if you're a highly effective author, can solve and anticipate. And every new follow-up problem is a follow-up product that you could provide in your business that is able to solve problems that you know they're going to have. And instead of forcing them to go to competitors who's not going to serve them and love them the way that you can anticipate this, and we could work together to package these solutions for them, not if, but when they come up. So think about your book as like this lighthouse content. The light comes in and it creates a back-end business, these follow-up problems. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you 9 ways that you can profit from a health book without selling a single copy. And what I mean by that is these are 9 follow-up products that are able to be created just by creating a book. And the real business is beyond the book. Is that making sense so far? So this is how you can, even if you don't sell a single copy, these are 9 ways that you could, by publishing a book, make a profitable business. And how many of you are ready for me to crack the code? How about say yes? Yes, okay. And so in this book that's written by Mark Victor Hansen, Robert G. Allen, they call it Cracking the Millionaire Code. And they give this wealth code, it's called the PRISM code. And this PRISM is a framework that helps you to think through. Every time you create a product, there is this prism effect where there's follow-up problems that you're able to create. And as you think through this framework, it helps you to make better decisions. And I'll give you an example. Here is Kaylin Poland. She created the company Lady Boss Weight Loss. And in this is an award that businesses get where Russell Brunson, he's one of our mentors, one of my mentors in marketing, he awards this when people make over $10 million in their business, and then they have this big Funnel Hacking Live event where they give these awards out. So Kaylin Poland publishes a book, and she was able to build a movement within 3 years, impacting so many women's lives, helping them to lose weight and get healthy. And this is how she did it. So the first P in PRISM is product. So what's the product? We're talking about a health book. So here's Kaylin Poland, and her book is called Big Fat Lies. And it was really cool. I was talking to Jackie yesterday, and she's like, you know, the thing that really interests me the most about health is I love the truth. How many people love the truth here? I love the truth. And there's a lot of lies in the health industry. Am I right? Yes. So what Kaylin Poland's doing is she's like, look, I'm going to call out these big fat lies in the weight loss industry that the food industry doesn't want you to know, the weight loss industry doesn't want you to know, just lies that are keeping people fat, sick, and nearly dead. And she's like, I'm going to tell the truth to all of these women and to help them to lose weight in a way that they could feel that they have the strength, the courage, the community, the support and accountability to finally reach their goals and change their life for good. So that's what she does. She publishes a book. And this book opens the doors for now she's able to create the R in PRISM, which is related products. What kind of products? Related products. So now she's able to create these related products. She put together these lean protein shakes, and they are packing nutrition, helping people to get some of the nutrients that their bodies aren't getting. Also, when you create a product, we talked about Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead book, which is about juicing, right? What was a related product that he was able to become an affiliate with? If you're going to start juicing, you need a juicer. So you could look at some kitchen equipment if that makes sense for your topic. Or some people are interested in fitness. Maybe there's fitness equipment that could help. And through related products that could also to sell people that could help equip them on the journey. Think about what is the equipment that you use to solve your problem. And many times there is actually an affiliate program or related product that another company can provide for you, and you can get commission selling other people's products. And I know that there's some people who've made hundreds of thousands of dollars just recommending Vitamixes in their cooking shows and their cooking videos on YouTube. So there's also supplements, and these are related products. And with the related products, Kaylin Poland was able to make an extra $150 million beyond her book sales. Wow. As a result of the Big Fat Lies best-selling book that she was able to do. Using the same principles that we teach our students, she's able to go on and impact these people's lives. And she's starting from having no tech experience and not a business background. And in 3 years, she built a movement of serving hundreds of thousands of women online. And she's garnished over 1 billion views in content and leveraging other people's audiences to build her audience and impact the lives that she believes she's called to serve. Is that amazing? So some other examples, she also put together some swag and clothes to help people to feel like they're a part of a community. Now, what about the I? The I in PRISM stands for information products. We've been talking a lot about that. Information products are examples like here she has this 30-day slim down, which can include like online courses. They could be challenges. You can provide ebooks, and I'm not going to put ebook as one of the 9 because it's still a book. I'm showing you how, but even though you have a book, you can still sell digital books. And I showed you an example of Natalie Hodgson, who made $1 million just selling ebooks alone. And because of these digital products that Kaylin Poland was able to put together, she was able to make an extra $25 million in addition to her book sales as a result of publishing Big Fat Lies. Is that amazing? Are you seeing the possibilities here? And these are additional revenue that's generated from these books. Go ahead.
How about giving away free
Giving away free DVDs?
It spreads you farther. Free.
Yes, and that's exactly what we teach, where like a modern version of free DVDs is the interviews you do usually on other people's platforms are like free DVDs or free interviews or free videos and resources, web classes. Sometimes people give free ebooks in exchange for an email that you can now follow up with. And what I'm sharing with you here in selling these digital products, it's not negating that there is no free stuff. I mean, you look at her content, she's got lots of free training. And me, I've got lots of free trainings. That's what I call lighthouse content. And that's how you make yourself findable. And you're able to impact people's lives for free. And what I'm just emphasizing or sharing with you is I'm saying give the free lighthouse content, absolutely. But also, begin with the back end in mind. There's always going to be a percentage of every audience that is going to be interested in working closer with you and paying a price for another level of access or a more structured approach or a more specific result than just the free material is going to give. Does that make sense? Yeah. So a lot of times it doesn't have to be either or, it could be and also. One of the things that makes health educators struggle or keeps them in this poor missionary mentality is, I want to be able to help people with their health, but I want poor people to be able to afford it. And you see, they're like, I want to get paid sharing my health, but I want poor people to afford it. So it's like this either or. But who says it needs to be either or? Why not have and also? I want to help poor people have health through my low-priced book, my free content, my interviews on other people's platforms. I can impact so many people's lives and get paid a premium price for my health advice for those who want to pay. Does that make sense? But the problem is, if we don't create the digital products, we are forcing clients or people in our audience who would love to pay you, and you're forcing them to go to your competitors who's not going to love them as much as you can or share with them the message that you have to share. Does this make sense? This doesn't alienate people who can't afford. This is giving people another opportunity who already desires to pay, but the offer you don't make is the offer they can't take. So, we look at information products. What about the S in PRISM? S stands for services. Services is what you can also do through coaching. This is what we're talking about, done with you services. There's also consulting. You could do workshops and retreats. These are places where people are able to come to your workshop and come and go through a particular process. In fact, I've put together workshops based on a lot of the presentation I've done. I've spoken to many of you, and you've said that your most favorite part of this experience has been the workshops that we've been able to do. And it's funny because that's not even scratching the surface of the kind of workshops that we get to have with people, with our clients, taking them through this process. And it's really impactful. And you get to do that with your clients. And they could be virtual workshops online, or they could be in-person workshops. And also, it opens the door for speaking, where now they're able to gather their audience together and host their own event, and other people will pay you. What happens is, like, they're reading your book and they're like, this is amazing. I want this shared with my audience. Will you come speak at my conference, speak at my event, speak on my podcast, speak on my platform? And you'll have influential leaders who already have an audience of your dream clients promoting your book, promoting your program to their audience. Amen. That's like, think about the amount of effort, minimum effort, maximum output. Whereas if you have to build your audience first and rely entirely on your own efforts for the people that you reach, it's going to be a lot slower to reach the people that you're capable of. That's why influencing the influencers or learning to speak is going to be very impactful. So the last one is media. And this is like what we're talking about, where media opens the door for podcast interviews, blog articles. It's so easy for you to take a chapter in your book and turn it into a blog, which is like a written article online, and you can guest blog and be a guest expert on someone else's blog who has like tens of thousands of readers, and people who read blogs read. So if they're going to read a blog, which could be a chapter excerpt, they're more likely to read your book, because readers are readers. And so that's a really powerful tip. I know of another lady, She Glows. She started a blog, and she was just posting her journey of going plant-based and eating with these dietary restrictions. And she created one blog at a time. And guess what? She released these recipes, and she built a best-selling cookbook, one blog at a time. Pick the most viral and most effective blogs that her community liked the most, package those together and into a cookbook, and it became instant bestseller.
One slide,
This one?
yeah.
I can let you take a screenshot, but I need to keep going.
No, because you put the next one. Oh,
I'm talking about media right now.
oh,
Yeah, media. So like blog, everything I'm saying about blog is a type of media. And the podcast is a type of media. And interviews are also media, which can be at events. YouTube collaborations. I shared how I literally took the conversations I had with people and recorded them, put them on YouTube, and then people saw those conversations, and I got one YouTuber who said, "Brilliant, I love the teaching of this young lad." And he invited me to speak on his YouTube channel with over 200,000 subscribers, and he did an interview with me on his channel, and he told everyone to go subscribe to my platform, and I got hundreds of people to subscribe that day. Less people, but still hundreds the next day and the next day. Within like 2 weeks, it started to dwindle, but I just had a surge of people I was able to reach. But because of having a book, it opens the doors for more media who's interested in having you speak. And you can create what I like to call book-based content. Once you publish a book, you've already got all your content covered on social media, because you're just able to turn different chapters or concepts or principles from your book, and that's what you create videos on. That's what you create content. That's what you structure into little infographics or and we provide templates and provide easy ways to turn the contents from your book into social media, and now you're able to build your audience as well, while leveraging other people's audience. Does this make sense? Amen. How many of you can see the vision for your business and what is possible? Yes. Amen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this back on full screen. I think I clicked the... clicked exit this. Isn't it amazing the opportunities that open up when you have a book? Yes. I agree. All right, cool. Now we're here. Now, you guys are probably here, and some of you guys are like, wow, Enoch, this has been, what am I doing? Let's do this again. Yeah.
It's pouring.
It is pouring. When it rains, it pours. There shall be showers of blessing. I wonder what causes that. Okay. Dear Lord, please help me to know how to not do that again. Yeah, okay, I think I know how to do it. So, some of you guys are here and you're like, wow, Enoch, this has been amazing. I felt like I've had a fire hose in my face for the last hour, and this is like seeing all these possibilities, or this last week has been amazing, and you're just getting a lot of these ideas and possibilities that are happening. And some people were coming up to me yesterday and they're asking, is there a way that we can have some mentorship? Is there a way that we can learn how we can do some of these things you're talking about? Is it okay if I spend a few minutes to share with you a special offer that I put together for those who are interested in getting started in mentorship and apply some of the principles I've been sharing today? Is that okay? Yes? Okay. Yes, awesome. So, first, who here is excited?
He is.
I'm a little too excited. I'm getting click happy over here.
That's how you feel inside. You just don't want to react like that.
I don't mind reacting like that. This stuff is exciting. I love seeing people getting their message out and impacting people's lives. Could someone hand me, Shanice, could you hand me my clicker? Maybe I'm just not used to this one. It's in my bag. Thank you. So, who here is excited to become a best-selling author? Say yes. I am. Great. And, oh, I got to full screen this. Someone doesn't want you to become a best-selling author. No, I'm supposed to stay here. Thank you. But we know he's a defeated foe. All right, round 2. All right, and what I find is that there has, according to a study that's been done by New York Times, there's been about 81% of Americans feel that they have a book in them and they should write it. And, but according to another study that was done by the Book Industry Study Group, there's only about 2% of Americans have actually published a book. You know what that means? That means 79% of people, millions of people, hundreds of millions of people, believe they should publish a book, but they are going to go to their graves with unfulfilled dreams of becoming an author. And my question is, do you want to be a part of that 79% who feel that they have a book in them, but never publish it in their lifetime? Or are you ready to get the guidance that you've been looking for to write, publish, and launch your book to #1 bestseller? So, introducing the Best-Selling Book Boot Camp. This is a program that we've put together to help health educators especially to be able to package their health knowledge into a book and to be able to write either your first or next health book and launch it to #1 bestseller within the next 60 days. And in this boot camp, we put this together, and what I wanted to do in creating this, actually I'll tell the story in a moment. So first, what you're going to get in this boot camp is there are 6 phases of writing a best-selling book. And the first phase is, #1, you want to plan your book. This is where you turn your health mindsets and skill sets into income-producing assets. You're able to package this, as we saw those advantages that authors get, is you want to plan your book and begin with the end in mind. The second phase is you're going to package your book. This is where I'm going to share with you the simple cure for writer's block that works every single time. And with the way that I coach health educators, you don't have to be a good writer to publish a best-selling book. And you'll never deal with writer's block again. It's a very smooth process. And then the third phase is to polish your book, where I'm going to show you how you can avoid the traps that leave health authors with massive editing and proofreading, time wasters, and money costs. And it takes people months to put together a book. You're going to be able to do it in days or weeks. And we're also, phase 4 is all about publishing your book. Now that you've published a manuscript, you got from the message in your mind to a manuscript, now we're going to show you the hassle-free global distribution secrets that will help you with automated printing, shipping, and fulfillment without holding any inventory. And we're going to make it very plain and simple, easy to follow for you. Where before, when I was publishing, I would have boxes and boxes of books, but now you can handle where you can outsource and have them automatically what's called print on demand. That is, people request books from you. These strategic partners, these vendors, will be able to mail them out, print them, ship them, and mail them. And you don't have to handle any of those things. And it makes it where you now have instant global distribution for just a small price. And you're able to reach the world through this. And I'm also going to show you how to promote your book. We have 7-step process for our unique bestseller launch strategy that's going to guarantee that you hit #1 on Amazon and beyond. And we know that once you have a process, when you have a plan, it's as simple as cause and effect. If you do those steps, you will get to #1 bestseller. And once you're a bestseller, you're always a bestseller for the rest of your life. And you're able to carry that with you when speaking at events or introducing yourself. And the sixth stage is, now you got to bestseller. Now let's profit from your book. This is how wealthy authors turn one book into a lifetime income. And I talked a little bit about some of those ways that you could monetize from your book, but we're going to guide through some of the process. These are the 6 phases that I found for writing a best-selling book. And I know for me, before I fine-tune and refine this process, publishing a book was very difficult, and it was long. I remember I was waiting for like 8 months trying to write this book and straining to figure out the pieces and putting things together. And I was at a mastermind with some entrepreneurs, and one of them was Kiana Daniel. She's someone who has published multiple best-selling books, and she's featured on international television, and she teaches about investing. And where I had the opportunity, me and Pastor Smith, he was my guest that I took with me, and we were able to have dinner with Kiana Daniel and some other entrepreneurs from this mastermind. And I asked her a question, and I was like, so I found out about her because I attended an event, and she did the very play that I shared with you, where there's like 4,000 people at this event, and every single person in the audience got a copy of her book. And it was $1 Million Family Secrets is what she did. And I got this book, and I got to understand what she's about. I listened to her speech. I'm like, wow, she really cares about families and empowering people to understand the financial literacy so they're making wise financial decisions. And I asked her, how long does it take you to publish a book? Because I want to publish a book right now, and it's been taking me like 8 months. And I know there's like an 80-20 rule. I'm like, do you spend like 80% on the book and 20% on marketing? Like, what is the ratio between writing your book and marketing your book? And she just, without hesitation, she said, it takes about 2 days to write my book. Then I spend the next 12 years in marketing the book that I wrote.
Wow. 2 days.
2 days. And the book that I got that 3,000 or 4,000 people at that event each received a copy of her book, it took 2 days for her to publish it before the Russell Brunson said, yeah, you can share with everyone in the audience. And she's like, let me get this book that's going to go with my talk. And I realized, wow, I've been looking at this totally wrong. And I started to reevaluate, if I'm going to publish a book in a shorter time period, what would that look like? And I learned a new strategy where I was able to take the book, change the topic, and then I had my book in 2 weeks. I was able to publish my book and then launch it to #1 bestseller. And that was my first best-selling book, which is I Want to Mentor, Now What Do I Do? And in the second book, I did, which is the book on high-ticket health coaching. And that's really what all of my talks today, each one of my talks has been a chapter or a portion of this high-ticket health coaching book. My goal for that one is I wanted to publish a book in 3 days. And I wanted to do that and to show that you don't have to take 2 weeks or months or years to publish a book, but you can do it simply. And it's a good quality book that looks and feels professional inside out. It's not a cheap like book that you're like, it feels like it was published in 2 days. I look at the quality of the book, I'm like, this is good, solid advice. This is powerful. And I was seeing, how could I do that? And what I ended up doing is that's actually what started the Best-Selling Book Bootcamp. While I wanted to publish a book for health coaches, and I decided I'm going to document my journey. Remember how Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead, he documented his journey of healing? Well, I documented my journey of publishing a book in 3 days. And so I didn't publish it in 3 days. I ended up publishing in 4 days. And because not only was I publishing our book, I was teaching Christopher and Candace how to publish their book and creating the Best-Selling Book Bootcamp, documenting the journey of the exact steps I took and they took, which before, like Candace said yesterday, her husband was talking about publishing a book for 12 years, and now after investing and working with us, he was able to publish it in 3 weeks. Yes?
I was just thinking as you're saying that, one of the things about you as a mentor, a lot of mentors, they like do a book or a course or something, and then that's all they teach. But you always teach what you're learning as you're learning it. That way people, they get the very best experience.
It's true. I'm constantly learning, and I'm sharing with my team what they can do as well, and so that you could accelerate your process. Let's keep the stories until afterwards. If it was something quick, then we could answer it at the end. But with this, what happened was I was able to publish a book in 4 days, document into the Best-Selling Book Bootcamp so that others who want to publish a book can understand how to do that as well. And then we got to bestseller within 2 weeks. And in business leadership. And the first book was in business consulting, whereas what I realized is I had a desire to publish a book, but after 8 months, I wasn't sure how to make it work. And I was just confused at like, is this going to happen? How do I get it out? And I wasn't aware of what business I was really in. And most people take too long to put things together, and they don't realize the vast majority of the impact and the reach to be able to help people is going to be in the marketing of the products and programs that you created. How many of you can relate to that story of trying to, like, wanting a book, but not being sure how to make that happen? Yeah. Yes? So, as I shared, we were able to get to #1 bestseller within 2 weeks, and lots of people were able to get our books. Here's the #1 YouTube consultant. He helps people to get 1 million subscribers on YouTube. She's a lady, Zana's not here, but Mita Danny is the one who teaches people realistic watercolor painting. She makes $100,000 and multiple 6 figures a year teaching people how to do realistic watercolor painting, and she published a book, built her business around her book, and just really being able to help people. It's been a blessing. And here they're fighting over the book. They were just having some fun. But I like that photo. And then I shared how Christopher Smith, we worked with him and was able to help him. He says that the information that Enoch gives is so valuable, you'll be amazed at how much he gives. He cares about your success, and he gives you the tools you need to start on the journey of being a high-ticket health coach. So the question is, who's this boot camp for? We already talked about how this is good for health enthusiasts. If you've never published a book before, or you're already an existing author, if you have a health method or program designed, or you don't, we can help you to structure. That's one of the things that we excel at, is helping people to find their message, get clear on the topic that they're able to serve, the problem, finding and solving that valuable problem, and organizing their thoughts. And so if you're a health coach, health speaker, or you desire to be any of those, then really anyone who has a health message or a passion about health, we can help them with this boot camp. And sometimes we're thinking about, well, I'm not really a good graphic designer. But the good news is that's okay, we got you covered. We're going to provide done-for-you professional cover designs so that our team has professionally designed some carefully crafted cover templates that will attract your ideal clients so that you can have consistent sales beyond your launch. And the book, the cover, there's a few things that are uniquely designed and optimized to growing your email list and attracting people that even if they don't buy your book, they can still you can still use it to generate leads. And it's some very advanced tips that you're going to get. And if you were going to pay a graphic designer to do that for you, you can easily get charged up to $1,500 for good professional cover design. But we're going to get that provided for you with the best-selling book bootcamp. So that's at least a $1,500 value, but it's all included there for you. And I was thinking, like, what else would they need? What can I do to ensure their success so that there's no hurdles, no hindrances? It's just the smoothest, easiest process for you. And I was like, oh, what about the automated printing and distribution? Sometimes holding the inventory and just having a bunch of boxes can be a challenge. So what we're going to do is your book is going to be available in paperback, print on demand, distributed through international platform, global distribution. So when someone purchases your book, it's going to be printed, packaged, and shipped for you. You're not responsible for any of the fulfillment or inventory management if you don't want to. We're going to provide all of that. We're going to show you how to set that up and smooth and ease the process for you. And so it can go from your mind to a manuscript to their mailbox in the shortest amount of time possible. And Michael Hyatt, Michael Hyatt is a book publisher. He's a New York Times bestselling author. He's a former CEO of Thomas Nelson Publisher. Who here has ever heard of Thomas Nelson Publisher? That's a big publisher in just secular publishing. So he's a CEO of a publishing company, and what he said is he's worked in traditional publishing for over 30 years and published most of his books through traditional publishers. However, I have self-published a few of my recent books and recommend it as the first choice for most aspiring authors. So this is where you get to be your own self-published author. You hold the rights, the royalties. You don't have a publisher that's going to tell you what you can or can't say, not restricting you on the ways that you're able to market, and you retain all that creative ability to share your message with no restrictions that some other traditional publishers would do. And so what you're going to get is done-for-you cover designs, automated printing and distribution, which is easily $500 value if you're going to try to figure this stuff all out on your own, and the technical headache. You don't have to worry about that. This is a $2,000 value, but I didn't stop there. I was thinking, what else could you need? How could I stack the odds so much in your favor so that it can help you to get to bestseller, to overcome the hindrances that I know that people struggle with that prevents them from taking action, and what can I do? So I realized, hey, we're going to help you with the formatting. We're going to provide done-for-you professional formatting so that our design team has provided you with a book format template, which is that is going to help you with your ebook for digital downloads and for your print, so you have that offline advantage. We'll ensure that your book looks and feels extremely high quality, high value, and professional inside and out. And if you're going to pay someone to do something like that, we can see it's got about $1,500 for the graphic design. It's about $500 for the printing, and easily you could pay $1,500. I've seen more for the formatting and outsourcing into a book, but we got that taken care of for you. We talked about do it yourself. We talked about done with you. This is done for you. The templates and formats are already provided for you, included in the boot camp, so you don't have to guess, and you can have your book formatted like a book and make it so much easier than before. Total value, that's $3,500. But that's not what you're going to pay. That's just helping you to understand what you would have otherwise been paying if you're out there in the marketplace looking for people to do this on your own. So I'm thinking, what else could you provide? What else can we do that can help you the most? And I realized with publishing and royalties, we're going to guide you step by step through all the publishing and the setup, so that you can have worldwide distribution of your health book. You're going to keep 100% of the rights and royalties, means all the profit, all of the income, the revenue goes straight to you and your company, your ministry, your mission, and you have full ownerships over the content, pricing, marketing strategies of your book. And there's nothing beyond the price of the boot camp that we ask for. You get to keep all that publishing royalties. And so you're going to have the professional cover design, $1,500 value, automated printing and distribution, $500 value, done for you professional formatting, and you're going to have publishing royalties, total value $4,497. And that's really a low estimate of $997 for publishing royalties. If you look at Ellen White, she took the royalties from her books, and like, if you realize, just from royalties alone, she took one book and dedicated it to, like, Christ Object Lessons was going to go, who knows what the royalties of Christ Object Lessons went to helping with? Anyone?
Education work.
Education work, starting schools and true education, which we have one of the largest networks of education in private institutions, and it was founded on the back of the royalties of one book. Also, when you look at the sales of Ministry of Healings, you see the sanitariums, the health centers, these lifestyle centers, the purchasing of buildings, of land, of development, the starting of these industries were dedicated because of the royalties of one Ministry of Healing book was dedicated to be able to build a business. So if you look at historically, the way that this movement has been able to go forward is because of book sales. And many times when ministries were looking for donations and they were asking people for donations, she's like, look, stop asking the people for donations, go write a book and sell the book to the audience at your publishing prices, have the members sell the books, and with the profit, they can go build their buildings. With the profits from the books, they can go build a school, they can go build whatever the building funds were. And she encouraged Stephen Haskell to do that and then got him started on publishing his books and selling his programs and courses. So, I mean, $997, that's easily a small on the conservative side. But if you factor that in, you get all of that, we're looking at like $4,497 value. Here we have Danielle. She was able to leave a review. I'm glad to have you here. And through our interactions, she's expressed how my mentorship has always been the most clear and encouraging to me. I'm always left feeling inspired and confident after receiving his support. And I would recommend his insights to anyone in the business of helping people. Do you still feel true? Amen. Absolutely. So what I was thinking is like, I just don't want to leave anything left to you that would help you to succeed the most and help you to go further faster. Because I know a lot of people, they have dreams, they have goals. You guys have been sharing your vision during these workshops. And just being able to see your faces light up and see what you can do when you talk about sharing your health and helping people with these ideas that you have. I want to make sure that your message doesn't die on your lips and you can reach the people you're called to reach. So I'm thinking, what else could help you? If you've got your book and you're going to launch your bestseller, what can help? Well, providing some social media marketing for authors. I'm going to help you to demystify and make sense of some of the social media because, like, let's face it, we know that where the attention of the people is, they're online. Am I right? And if you can put your message where their attention already is and redirect it to Christ, redirect it to the truth, where they're no longer learning all these big fat lies, then and through your book, it can generate more sales. I did an interview with Drew Manning, and he's the Fit to Fat to Fit book. How many of you guys remember that from yesterday? He sold millions of dollars worth from that book. And I asked him, I said, look, you've been very successful, New York Times bestselling author. You've sold so many copies of your book. Out of everything that we've talked about, everything you've done, what has been the single most effective method for selling your books? And he's like, well, by far, it was social media. He got more sales from the social media strategies than any of the other things. And after our interview, he's talking about working with me. We got a time scheduled that we're going to talk about publishing his next book because he went the traditional route. And he's like, I wish that knowing what I know now, he was like, I went to traditional publishing and I had no idea I had to do a lot of the marketing stuff. And if I knew the things that you teach, I would have been a lot further than even I am now. So we're talking about working with him to publish his next book for health, is this new direction that he's going to be taking his business. And so we're going to give you the social media marketing mastery for authors to help you to make sense of it. In fact, Joe Cross was able to put together, he really inspires me because we talked about how he published a book and it landed a documentary. When you look at Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead, like the sequel, part 2, he has a clip in there where he literally posts on Facebook because of the audience he gained from his book and his documentary. He says, this Sunday, I will be in North Fresno for a free talk at the Historic Library Theater. Hope to see you there. And you can't really see very well this darkness, but there are seats here and there's faces filling. This is a theater. If you know what movie theaters look like, they're just loaded with people. And it's because of one post on social media, he's able to invite people to come and they are able to fill the room. And we saw that effect about a month and a half ago when someone who had an email list sent out a message to his email and then filled the church at the events that we were able to do a little bit before. And another time he went to New York. He calls his community rebooters. I'm going to be in the New York area. Don't forget to stop by Washington Square Park in New York City on Saturday. Come say hi and share your story. And then he's got an instant audience anywhere you go. How many of you would like to be able to send a post out on social media and say, hey, I'm going to be doing an event here, and you're going to fill the rooms with people who want to hear your message, so that when you want to do a workshop, you want to do a cleanse, you want to help people to overcome these big fat lies that they've been told, you can instantly have an audience. That's what happens when you learn to leverage social media. I remember when I was speaking in Tennessee, I had some people who have been following my videos and they got some of my free DVDs back in the day before these courses were available. And she she introduced me to her daughter who's in Tennessee, and she got me speaking at this event. And because I was in Tennessee and her mother Gloria was in Florida, she's like, wow, she's going to fly. She drove up from Florida to Tennessee just to see me, brought her son, and her daughter was there and her grandson. And she was so happy. I was happy to see her. She was happy to see me. And people start flocking out from different places because of the online videos and the impact. People I've never met or talked to before, their lives are being impacted because of the messages going forth. And I believe this is possible when we publish a book and learn how to market it. So in total, what we're looking at is you're going to get done for you cover design, $1,500 value, automated printing and distribution, $500 value, done for you professional formatting to make sure your book looks great, $1,500 value, publishing and royalty, easily $997 value, social media marketing for author, this is a $3,000 value, and you're going to get it all included in this boot camp. The total value we're looking at is $7,497. And it's all there. And that's not what I'm going to charge. So I'm just thinking, what else? What else could I give you to make it so simple to realize that they're just going to sweeten the pot, make it easier for you to thrive? And I was thinking, okay, I know that one of the hardest things that people have is implementing on the information. And I've seen, like, out of everything that we've put together, the things that Christopher and Candace have enjoyed the most. I know the events that I've been to, a lot of events, you go leave a seminar, you leave with a big to-do list. Or you leave a camp and you have a big to-do list of all these things you got to do. You go through a course, you get this big old list, and it can be overwhelming. So I wanted to put together, I'm thinking, what is a way that I can help you to get the most accomplished in the shortest amount of time? And so I put together an implementation workshop. 3 days, you're able to either come out and fly out, and it's like the implementation we did where I teach a little, and you have a writing exercise, a partner share, and then a class share. And we build out your entire business. We map out your book. We're able to publish a book in this program. We're able to help you to craft your signature speech. We have a signature speech workshop. We have a platform promotion workshop where we're helping you to book these platforms, podcasts, speaking engagements. We're able to build out your speaker assets. Whatever the work is that needs to be done, we create a workshop to help you to implement and put it together so that as long as you show up, whether it's on Zoom or in person, we've had people to join us from out of the country and to join us with through Zoom, or we could do it in person. Either way, this is something that I've found that as you walk away from this 3-day workshop, our students have reported getting more done in these 3 days than what they've done in the last 3 years combined. The environment, the accountability, the networking that we get to do with each other, and the ideas that are shared, the structure, the proven plan, to just the clarity that people get in these 3 days of just focusing on your calling in life, your mission, your message, and the people that you're able to serve. It's incredible what you're able to get done in these 3 days that is taking others 3 years to do, and they're still stuck, struggling, and wondering what's their next step and where do they start. But meanwhile, you walk away with assets that you're able to use in your business for the rest of your life. And so this is a program. This is a bonus that we're gonna throw in for those who are interested in this boot camp. Here's a testimony from Laura. Laura has attended our challenges. She's worked with us, and she says, I appreciate the practical tips, but more than anything, I trust Enoch. He has proven to be a very caring person and genuinely interested in helping others. Amen. And so a recap of everything that we've got so far. Everything inside, you're going to get the cover design. You're going to get automated printing distribution, done for you professional formatting. You're going to have publishing and royalty rights, all yours, social media marketing for authors, and these implementation workshops, which we have previously sold. People have paid $10,000 to be able to attend this workshop, and you're going to get access to this. We won't charge you $10,000 to come to the workshop. And we're also going to provide the platform promotion secrets, which is all the steps for you to get how we've been able to use to speak on podcasts with 200,000 views, to speak on YouTube channels with 230,000 people, or 142,000 listeners on podcasts. And we're able to show you this is how you can get platform hosts and influencers to promote your message, your book, to their audience. And we're going to show you exactly what to do so that you can speak on them. And just one of them, I believe I was talking to our brother that just from one talk, I was able to speak at this YouTube channel with over 230,000 subscribers. He didn't allow me to make an offer. I didn't ask for any price. And I just shared my message in that way that I was teaching you yesterday. And I had an opt-in where, hey, if anybody wanted this free gift, like Meji was saying, I gave them a free opt-in where they can learn some of those Bible financial secrets, or those myths that helps people to overcome what holds them back. And it's just a free course that I was going to give them. I used to give away free DVDs. Now it's a lot easier, just a free digital access with a members area. And so I was able to provide that. He interviewed me for an hour, and I can trace from that talk, I had instantly like 18,000 people who were watching live, which if I go live on my platform, I don't got 18,000 people, but I don't need to have a big audience. From his, I've got 18,000 people listening, and within the next 7 days, we've got an increase of $3,000 from our automated webinars, selling our course, or some of our courses and programs, and I could trace $3,000 to that 60-minute speech, just by having someone with a big platform promoting our message. And so just from one speech, I mean, $3,000 isn't like a whole lot of money, but hey, it's like, to make $3,000 for 60 minutes of doing something that I would already love to do for free, and when you begin with a back end in mind, it could make a difference. And just being able to share with people is incredible, and being able to share on a platform of hundreds of thousands, which is like 6 times the size of if everyone in this city were to come together in one room, it would be this city times 6.5. And that's what we're going to show you how to do. And so let's conservatively put $1,997 value. So for the total of everything that you get, and this is everything, we're looking at $19,000 value, $19,497. And what I realize is that a lot of the mainstream publishing advice is just totally broken. And there's a lot of myths. Just like there's lies in the health industry, there's lies in this book publishing, and there's beliefs that people think that holds them back from actually writing an impactful book that increases your influence, your impact, and your income. Some of these lies are like, I was on this sales page of a publisher, and I was just looking at what do people charge, what do they offer, what do they do, and someone was asking, how much is your word count? How many words are you going to have in your book? And you know what a response in the frequently asked questions? You won't know how much your word count is until about 6 months into writing it, and you might know. 6 months? It's like we teach our students how to publish a book in 4 days. It doesn't have to take that long. And I realized one of the reasons why people feel like writing a book is so daunting and exhausting and is tense is because not all book publishing methods are created equally. Some of them are going to be more optimized to help you to do it faster, so you're not just focused in a corner in the dark writing in obscurity, but you could focus more on getting your message to the people that are hurting now and are willing to pay you now. And so other people will say you need a publisher, and if you're going to be a real author, then the traditional publisher is going to do it. But when they publish you, they tell you what to say, how to do it, and they don't actually help you with marketing. You're on your own sport with that, and they take a vast majority of your royalties and they give you pennies for the sales. So a publisher is not what is needed. Self-publishing is best for most people, and I would include everyone here. And also some would say that only experienced writers can publish a book. And I'll be honest with you, I do not like writing. I don't see myself as a writer. I am a speaker. I like verbally communicating with people. I love people. I love talking to people. I have no problem communicating. But if I have to write the book, one of the reasons why I was struggling for 8 months is because I was trying to write the book. The biggest breakthrough I got is and the reason why my students are able to publish so quick is because I teach them, don't write your book, speak your book. Even if you love writing, what's best is never write from a blank page. That blank page, when you get writer's block and it's so daunting, it's intense, we help you to outline your book and put it in a structured manner, and then we show you how to speak your book. And once whether it's a video series or whether it's just an audio into your phone, we're going to help you to transcribe it. And then if you love writing, that's when you get to edit and tweak and move all the things, and you're able to get all your editing desires out and express yourself. But it's better to start with a manuscript that you could polish rather than starting from a blank page. Or if you're like me and you don't really like writing, then you can work with some editors who will be able to proofread and structure and use the formats that we give to be able to package and polish it into a book that's presentable and reads like a book. Does that make sense? So you can do it fast. Let's hold our questions till later. And others will say that the book will sell itself. Yesterday we saw you can have the best book with the most life-changing message, but if you don't have the marketing, then you're not going to launch it to bestseller. And we have a strategy that is proven to get you to bestseller, guaranteed, and we can show you how to build a real business on the back end of your book. Also, some people say that writing a book is hard and it takes a long time. It doesn't have to be hard, and it doesn't have to be long. You can get a book faster. And so I'm just thinking, like, what else do you need? And I want to ask you, if all this did for you is to be able to finally get your health book published and bestseller, would it be worth it? Yes. Yes. And if all this did for you is help you to establish yourself as a health expert in your health fields, would it be worth it? Yes. And if all this did for you was help you to get your first or next high-paying health clients that's able to work with them and cover some of the expenses, would it be worth it? Yes. Absolutely. With one client, you could cover the cost of the entire boot camp. And so I had two choices. I could choose either first option, to go as cheap as possible and give you the bare minimum that you would need to succeed. But Jesus said, where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. And I realized that when people aren't invested, they don't really invest their time, their energy. So the second option requires a little bit higher investments on your behalf, but in exchange, I can devote more of my resources and my team's ability to be able to guarantee your success and work with you to help you to share your message with other people. And I chose, which of these options you think would be better for you? Two? Let's see, two if you think number two. Okay, yeah, I agree. So that's what we did. And I was looking at different publishing services. I'm like, what do people usually pay for something like this? And sometimes not even an entire, they charge more for half of what we're doing. This slide shows what, I'm not going to say the publisher, but if you look at their most popular program, it's, how much is that? $48,000. This publisher is helping you to do some of the stuff that we're doing, and they charge that. And that's their most popular. And there are some books that you've probably heard or known, some from authors, who will pay $40,000 to do some of the things that we're showing you today. And if you want to customize it and have a little bit more, then the price here you see is $135,000. This isn't some obscure, odd pricing. This is very common pricing if you want to package your book and get it out. Why? Because they understand how profitable a book can be. This isn't just an expense. This is an investment in your dream and your future in the people that you could reach. And when implemented correctly, can have a return on investments and really support your family and support others that you care about. So you can get started today for just one payment of $19.97 today, and that's how much the boot camp is. And my assistant is going to come around. She's going to give you an order form that you could look at. You can kind of see everything that we've talked about, and you can decide if you would like to work together. And this is going to help you to write, to launch, and to publish your book to #1 bestseller and beyond. Lilia is another person client of ours, and she says that Enoch is really an expert on his topic. He explains in a very powerful but easy way to understand, especially to sell to an online audience. I notice that many people are afraid to put a price to their services. She's also a best-selling health author and a health coach, and she has found value in some of the things we shared. But I want to do it to where the risk is taken off of you and it is on my shoulders. So what I'm going to do is give a 30-day guarantee. So when you sign up today, and if you're not completely happy for any reason or for no reason whatsoever, 29 minutes from now or 29 days from now, just let me know and I'll be glad to give you your money back. Because we have a philosophy that we don't want your money if we can't help you. And if you're not satisfied with it, this is like, we'll take the risk on us. I'm so confident that we can help you to get to bestseller and get further in your business than without this, that I'm willing to put this 30-day money back guarantee. And so far, no one's asked for money back because they've been extremely happy, satisfied, and referring their friends to what we're doing as well. And so now you have two choices. You can either, first option, do nothing and do not take this leap of faith, which is 100% risk-free to you. Or you can do the second option, get the best-selling book boot camp now with this small investment today compared to the value that you're able to return. And if you're interested, if you know you're going to take this best-selling boot camp, then I invite you to, you can just get up and you can go to the back of the room. Shanicia will be there to help take your order form and she'll be able to help assist you. And you don't have to really like go through all of it. You just stand up, go to the back of the room and start filling it out and you're able to get your boot camp and secure your spot. And you've seen different people that we've worked with and different people who have been blessed by what we're doing. And my question is, will you be our next success story? We're looking for people who can be more people that I can share and I can talk about what they've been able to do, how they've been able to impact people. And are you going to be the one who I'm sharing next time, who's written, published, and launched your first or next book to bestseller? And like the real question is it worth investing just a few minutes of your time to check this out? Which, if it does even half of what I've claimed today that it could, this training is going to pay for itself as soon as you get just your next high-paying health client. Can easily cover the cost. And you can get lifetime access to this boot camp. You're going to get it. The recordings are already provided, and they're available for just one-time payment of $19.97. And the three-day workshop is for those who, it's a pay in full bonus. So if you pay in full, then you're able to join and attend one of the 3-day workshops. We do have some payment plans that you can do if you'd like to do that, but we're not going to provide the 3-day workshop for that. And what I'll do is I'm going to provide a free consulting call with me. And Shanicia, as some of you guys want to know how to get on some boot camps, that we can get started with reaching your goals quickly. We'll do a one-on-one call. We'll do a deep dive on what is your goal, your mission, your guidance, like what would be the best steps for you to get started, launch, get absolute clarity and certainty so you can hit the ground running. And we're gonna dive into this. And this could be at any time during the boot camp. It could be at the beginning, or middle, or the end. We'll be able to have a one-on-one that we could just dive deep into your business and what this could look like and help you to get to bestseller and beyond. So if you're interested, then you've got the boot camp, and just fill it out. And also, some of you have shown interest in the book. If you want the book too, the best way to get it is we have some bonuses with the book, with the High Ticket Health Coaching book. We're going to provide that you can, we've got a training in there to help you to craft a health coaching offer that people want to buy. And the only way that you can get those bonuses, those videos in the members areas, and there's an audiobook available. The audiobook is $40 if anyone wants access to the audiobook. Or if you get the physical copy, it's going to be $20. And you can also fill out the same form, even if you don't get the boot camp. Fill out the form and just write on the bottom, just say book. And you can say audiobook, and we'll know which one that you're interested in. And we'll make sure to send you the login where we're going to give you the book. I have one copy of the High Ticket Health Coaching. So the only way to get that, which will go deeper into all the things that I talked about at this camp meeting so far. On each chapter, I've done a talk on some of the chapters, and there's more. So if you want a copy of that, you can also fill out this form and just write book at the bottom or audiobook. Book is $20, audiobook is $40. And also just give that to my team, and we'll make sure to email you your login so you get the free bonuses that's going to come to help you to apply some of the principles there. So thank you everybody for this. I'm excited. I'm grateful for your time. Thank you for coming together. Now we're going to be breaking for lunch. And if you want to sign up during the break, then we'll be available to talk and discuss and see what this can do for you. But before we break, let's begin with a word of prayer. Or let's end with a word of prayer. Dear Father in heaven, thank you very much for the opportunities that we have to share our health message with others. I pray that you will give us wisdom and guidance. Help us as we are seeking to serve you, and we want to bring as many people with us as we can. I pray that you'll be with each of the people here. Regardless of their decision, I pray that you'll bless their business, bless their families, bless their message, bless their abilities to reach the people that you've called them to reach, to be a blessing to those who they are seeking to serve. And we thank you so much, Father, for the opportunities that you give us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.